Hello, my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. Spring is most certainly underway. It's already May, which is freaking me out because it's actually my birth month. I'm turning 25 this month, you guys. I know that's like pretty young, but at the same time, I'm realizing I've been on this planet for 25 years, and that is just a little bit mind-blowing. I'm halfway through my 20s, like what the heck. But anyways, I have a lot of fun and exciting things happening with my plants right now, so I just want to show you the highlights of like some of the fun things. I've done a lot of rearranging with my plants. There's a lot of growth happening because obviously spring, but also my greenhouse cabinet's also kind of popping off right now. But there's just a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to show you the highlights right now. First and foremost, this is kind of one of my main areas where I have a decent amount of plants. Normally I have a grow light on right here and I have a humidifier right here. Neither of them are running at present because I haven't really been refilling my humidifiers as spring has been coming around and I just haven't really needed them as much. As for the grow light, this one specifically goes from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's 6 p.m. as of right now. So yeah. I don't know. As you can see, I mean, if you're at all familiar with this setup, you might notice that a lot of things have changed. I've shifted a lot of plants. Some of the biggest shifts is that I moved my philodendron squamiferum that was right here upstairs on the landing, which I'll show you later. And also I moved down my philodendron Florida Ghost and my philodendron Summer Glory because I wanted my philodendron Florida Ghost to get more light, and under this grow light, he's like directly underneath and he will get absolutely blasted. So hopefully some of the newer leaves will come out ghostly white, because right now they've been coming out more like light green but not quite as creamy as I would like. I'm gonna try out more light, and he's also been stretching a bit too, so I would love to reduce that internodal spacing if at all possible because right now he's getting pretty leggy. And then my philodendron Summer Glory, I just thought a crawler might look nice here. I was mainly just trying to figure out a place to put her. Actually, my Monstera Adansonii I also moved upstairs because he was getting really chlorotic, and I think it was just, he was directly underneath the grow light here and it was just too much light for him. So I moved him upstairs to a more medium light situation. Right here is like bright light. I also brought down a few smaller plants like my Monstera Silvopicana and my philodendron Silver Sword and my philodendron Painted Lady. And then other than that, I just kind of shifted some plants around that were on here already. I also noticed that my lemon lime maranta was getting a little bit chlorotic, so I'm hoping that it was just an issue with the light and not an issue with like the root system or anything like that. This area right here is getting quite scraggly, as you can see. So I accidentally tore off like a whole bunch of leaves. It was just like an offshoot. I think it was like from over here. There was an offshoot with like 5 leaves on it and I accidentally ripped that off. I don't know, it was really clumsy or something, I guess. That is currently propagating in water because I mean, may as well. I just cut it up and figured it out. So I will probably propagate the rest of this, and I don't know, but I don't really have the guts to do it right now, and because I really enjoy this plant. I want it to be a little bit more lush than it currently is. But I mean, it's growing, which is fun. So yeah, but yeah, because of how chlorotic it was getting, it was a little bit more directly underneath the grow light, but I just set it over here, which has considerably less. Hopefully that helps. I had my philodendron Silver Sword living here for a little while. I've actually had several different plants living here. First it was my Monstera Adansonii that my cats knocked down, which wasn't great, but you know, whatever. And then I had a Syndopsis Pictus Silvery Ann living there for a while, and it seemed really happy until it very suddenly got root rot. So now I'm rerooting that in sphagnum moss in my prop box. And then I put my little mini philodendron Silver Sword babies there, but it, you know, didn't look great. So I moved it to to the piano, and now I have my philodendron fuzzy petiole living here. And honestly, I think it's pretty cute, so I'm not mad about it. Okay, and over here, there's a set of 2 windows that are south-facing windows. I have a bunch of hoya hanging up here, but because it gets really backlit, I'm going to bring the hoya to you. The first hoya of note is my Hoya obovata, which I did recently repot because it was in a little plastic pot and it was practically falling out of the pot because it was getting so top heavy. So I went ahead and remedied that with this cute little simple terracotta pot. This one is also a victim to maybe too much light, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just all in my head. But yeah, it's actually doing quite well right now. It recently started putting out these leaves right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but look, they're so cute. So there's like a set of leaves right here that's coming out, and then it's already starting like another growth point beyond that. So I'm very happy that this is growing because for a while it really wasn't. Okay, this is my Hoya Fichii, and I am so proud of this plant. I got it as a cutting last fall, I think, or it was like a rooted cutting and it had just like 4 leaves or something like that. It was really tiny, but really he's starting to fill out a lot, and I don't think it's showing up on camera, but there's a tiny bit of sun stressing on this leaf, and there's another new growth point right there. So all in all, I'm really pleased with how this plant is growing. This is my Hoya compacta, and I am so happy this plant is actually growing. For the longest time, this plant was suffering and not happy. And if you've been with me on my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that this plant was struggling, but he's turning a new leaf and also giving me new leaves, and has like a growth point here that's pretty active, and like a new growth point is starting on this side too, and there are like new leaves and there's some splashiness, and I'm just overall so relieved that this plant finally seems to be relatively happy, if a little scraggly and awkward, but you know what? I'm just gonna take a win as a win, okay? My Hoya australis lisa has also been growing quite a bit. Like right here is a new leaf that is so beautiful with a new growth point, and like a bunch of other new leaves and growth points have been going on. And I just really admire the coloring of this plant. So overall, I'm quite pleased, and hopefully she begins to kind of trail for me soon, or climb up the macrame that she's on, whatever she wants, I guess. But yeah. Good things, good things. Ooh, this plant is definitely really thirsty. It's my Hoya croniana or lacinosa silver, whatever you want to call it. So I will probably water him like right after this. But okay, this has to be my fastest growing Hoya. Like, oh my word. Do you see this? I know I'm gonna have to find like a picture or something to compare, but look at how beautiful. He's like just starting to trail, and these leaves are so silvery and gorgeous. I'm kind of swooning right now. Like, oh my gosh, look at these leaves. And there's so many new leaves happening too. Like, do you see all these shoots and growth points? And like, guys, this plant is amazing. All right, this is the last Hoya from over here I'm gonna show you. This is my Hoya villosa. And this one is slow but steady, I feel like. And the leaves are just gorgeous. But look, this new growth point right here. And right here is a very happy new growth point that I'm very excited about. I honestly adore that Hoya seem to just kind of like grow from wherever. Like that's a characteristic I really love in a plant, because they kind of fill themselves out. It's great. I'm so shocked that this Maranta is doing so well. It has so many new leaves, and a lot of those leaves are absolutely massive and beautiful. Like, look at that. Oh. And the reason I'm shocked is that it's an incredibly low light situation right now. It shouldn't be. I should put it in a little bit better light, but all things considered, this is one of the best behaving plants I've ever seen in such a low light circumstance. So like if you have literally no choice but to have low light, like if you only have north windows or something, get a freaking Maranta. Like they do remarkably well. Really quick, in my kitchen, I do want to show you my rickrack cactus. My rickrack cactus is growing so nicely right now. I just love the little shoots that come up. I just think they're adorable. And also here is the update on my Hoya latifolia alba marginata and the peduncle. So yeah, it looks awkward as heck, and that's because I don't think that the bloom is going to like fully work out. I think that these little flowers right here that are like the most prominent will probably come to fruition, but the rest of those, like a lot of the little flowers or whatever you call them, have been just kind of falling off or dying off. So it's a little bit sad that it's not going to be like a full bloom for me, but I'm still pretty happy. This was like my first peduncle ever on a Hoya, and I've just been watching it like a hawk like this entire time. And you know, it's fine. I'm honestly really happy that it's done even this much. Up here, I do think there's another peduncle. If it'll focus on it, I think that's another one. And then this might also be another one back here. So I have more hope beyond that. But I will say it did start putting out this new leaf that is so, I mean, it's still like really soft and delicate, so I don't want to mess with it too much. But it's got like this beautiful sun stressing on it. And yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this new leaf. Up here on the landing is an east-facing window, and I went ahead and moved my philodendron squamiferarum up here with this little stool. And honestly, you guys, I love it. Like, there's plenty of room to, you know, obviously go up the stairs. And even my husband likes it. But I felt like this plant definitely needed to become a floor plant. It was time. I just felt like it was looking a little bit awkward on the piano at this point. So, but yeah, overall, I am definitely very pleased with my decision to bring my philodendron squamiferarum up here. I'm still obsessed with these fuzzy petioles, and of course there's a new leaf, which is super fun, although it's definitely getting like a little bit too tall, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do once it gets beyond this bamboo stake. I mean, I guess I could get a longer stake or chop up the plant or whatever and start it over, but yeah, I never really know what to do when that happens. Right here is my Hoya carnosa crimson queen, and in general I like love this trio of plants, but this one's doing the most right now. She's got some fresh new leaves that are really, really beautiful and delicate, and lots of new growth points, so I'm always happy about that. Okay, admittedly, this room is like a little bit of a mess right now. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out and figure out where I want all of my plants, and this tends to be the catch-all room for any new plants that I bring in and haven't really figured out like where I'm gonna put them. So yeah, it's fine. But okay, this new philodendron mame leaf right now, okay, I'm obsessed. Look, it's a fresh leaf, so it's still like a little bit floppy, but that's pretty normal, I've found, for philodendron. But just like, look at how beautiful this plant is. I love it so much. My mystery plant that I chopped up recently has already started putting out this new growth point. So that's pretty exciting. And I might put this plant on a pole. I was originally thinking I would pot up one of the cuttings and start that up, some sort of a support or a pole. But honestly, I might just add the support to this plant since it's like so full and rooted already. Over here is my Syngonium albo, and it's definitely growing quite a bit. Like, there's lots of new leaves happening, which is exciting. Although some of the leaves, I mean, this one's beautiful, but it looks like it's putting out like an all white leaf. And this leaf looks like it's mostly green with just a tiny bit of variegation. And there's some other like all white leaves in there. So I'm like not extremely concerned. I'm sure it'll sort itself out, especially because there's so many growth points in here. It's always kind of in the back of my mind, like, okay, how's the variegation going with my plants that are less stable, I guess you could say. So that's just a thought. My Hoya Mathilde is, as usual, just growing like a charm. And I love those cute little new leaves back there. So yeah, super great. I might chop this one soon and just kind of take some propagations, because why not? She's doing really well. Over here, I feel like I definitely have a bit of a roller coaster with my Alocasia Black Velvet, because like sometimes this plant does really, really well, but I went on vacation relatively recently, like a month ago, and when I came back, she was quite flopped over because she got thirsty while I was gone. And, you know, a bunch of the leaves started dying off, like this one, and they just have issues. But she put out this new leaf recently that's absolutely stunning. So like, you know, it kind of evens out. Leaf loss is definitely pretty prevalent with alocasias. They're pretty sensitive to underwatering, I think, at least in my experience. But if you keep up with it, they reward you. And then over here, I haven't really totally decided like what I'm gonna put on these shelves and stuff like that. I think I need to water this plant. Okay, anyways, but this is my philodendron painted lady, and she's putting out a new leaf right there. I'm really excited to see how she conforms to this pole or doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Down here are just some propagations of mine that I potted up, and yes, I don't think there's anything else really to see down here. I did repot my rabbit's foot fern, and it's really cute and has lots of new growth happening. It's pretty happy as long as I keep up with the watering. My philodendron Jose Bono, this is not its permanent home, but it's just been chilling here in this window. I put out this new leaf that has like a tiny bit of variegation, but we're still holding out for more variegation. And then of course, here's my greenhouse cabinet. There's a lot going on in here, which is super fun. I'm gonna turn off the fan because it is quite loud. Over here, as I mentioned, I did move my Monstera Adansonii, and this is definitely a lower light situation than what it's used to, but it was getting very bleached out, so I'm hoping that it's actually happier here. I don't think it needed quite as much light as it was getting. And then up here, I originally had my philodendron Summer Glory up here, but I switched it from my philodendron Mayoi. I also brought my Hoya pubicalix over here, which has some new growth. Let's see, where is the new growth happening? Oh yes. The new growth is happening on this side, which is super fun. This plant has not really grown consistently for me, so it must be sensing that spring is here. My philodendron Grantianum is not doing too terribly. I mean, the leaves get stuck a lot, so like there's nothing new. But I don't know, I feel like it's enjoying the sunny spot. This is my philodendron Splendid. I'm still waiting for the top cut that I took to root, but in the meantime, it has started a new growth point already. If the cutting fails, I've got a quick backup. Okay, and now inside the cabinet, you guys, this is so fun. Okay, so first and foremost, my Hoya linearis is growing again, which is super fun. I think that he really loves the cabinet. Like, look at the new growth. And there's new growth over here as well. So that's awesome. My Anthurium clarinervium is also putting out a new leaf, and she's super happy. Oh, and by the way, right now it's at 71% humidity, which is pretty good. But anyways, back to the new leaf. I don't want to bother her too much, but like, look at how cute that is. It looks like it's gonna be like an extra veiny one too. And then down there, there's like another growth point happening too. My White Princess has a new leaf coming. My Epipremnum albo variegata is, of course, growing as usual. And over here, my Alocasia cuprea is doing quite well and very happy with the cabinet. This is a fresh leaf. This guy actually almost croaked on me, but thankfully he did not. I was able to revive him, but he like lost all of his leaves, but now he's back to 2. So that's a success. Okay, this is the stunner, the star of the show. This is my Anthurium crystallinum. This newest leaf is massive, like almost the size of my hand, and so beautiful, has been so red while it's been coming in. And also, let me show you this root system, you guys. Look at how developed that is. I am obsessed with this plant. Do you see that? It's so happy and beautiful. I love having this clear pot, but yeah, that leaf is absolutely stunning. Some of the older leaves are like dying off, but like this is massive and round and gorgeous. And there's already new growth happening there too. So this plant really loves the cabinet, you guys. I'm so happy with that. My variegated heartleaf philodendron is also doing really well in the cabinet. Like, look at how nice and variegated those new leaves are. And I feel like there's nothing like super new happening with the ones that are down here, although obviously like this is getting lower light, although this Maranta is flowering, which is super cute. And I also decided to start using these like ceramsite balls. I know people use like leca trays with water to just add more moisture. If you can hear my son, he is grunting. People use like leca trays filled with water to increase humidity. I don't really like the look of that, but the ceramsite I think is super duper cute. So like, I don't mind it as much. Despite these pampered conditions, my pink princess still wants to get stuck leaves. So, you know, that's fine. And okay, same for my philodendron gigas. Like, come on, dude, you have ideal conditions. Stop being so dramatic. But at least he's growing. I guess that's a positive. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to show you. Sorry, like, he was getting a little bit fussy. I think he wanted to be held. But the very last thing I wanted to show you is just that my Maranta Cotroviana has been absolutely popping off. Like, I was considering giving away this plant or chopping her up, but now that spring is here, she's gone absolutely insane. Like, look at, she's flowering. She has these massive leaves. I don't know, it's kind of backlit, so it's not really doing it justice, but she's really growing, so I'm really impressed with her. Yeah, those are some of the fun things happening with my plants, but it seems that my time has run out. Hello, mister. Oh my goodness, you are a squirmy little boy. The hair. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.